Welcome back, folks. Happy Friday. I hope you're having a good day. And as you can see, I actually did manage to go a day without something digging into my brain that I just couldn't avoid. But as I drove in to get dinner tonight, because I didn't feel like cooking for the seventh day in a row, I heard something so monumentally stupid that I can't get it out of my head. Someone was being interviewed about a curfew and crowing because their protest had managed to convince the city not to extend it, and they said the curfew was unconstitutional. That is moronic. It is not unconstitutional. You see, there's a bit of a problem with people and their understanding of the Constitution. Just a few days ago, Christopher Cuomo, or Fredo as most people know him now, said, "Show me where protest is supposed to be civil or peaceful." Well, you see, Mr. Cuomo, it's right there in the First Amendment. The right to peaceably assemble and petition for redress of grievances. Been in text for 240-odd years. But the problem is much deeper than all of that. I expect morons on CNN to not know what they're talking about. They've not known what they were talking about since the business was founded. I expect idiots who riot and loot and those who praise those who do to not understand the insanity of saying that telling us we can't break the law is illegal. But it goes to the utmost level when you have city council leaders like in Minneapolis, mayors like in New York or Los Angeles, and other very prominent people saying to defund the police. I would love for the LA police chief or the New York police chief or the chief of Minneapolis-St. Paul to say, "Oh, you don't trust police, you think we're all racist? We will do you a favor and we will pull every officer that has been guarding you 24/7 off of that detail. If we're so racist, we won't subject you to our presence." How fast after Garcetti or de Blasio or any of those in Minneapolis are told, "You no longer have police protection because we can't afford it, and we won't subject you to our racism." How fast would the call for the police chief to be fired and arrested and charged with putting them in danger? How fast do you think that would happen? I'm betting before the call is ended. I'm betting before they finish that sentence. You see, de Blasio, Garcetti, the morons in Minneapolis, all the idiots in D.C. and everywhere else who are screaming to defund the police have 24/7 protection by people with guns. What would happen if, say, Katy Perry or Pink or any of the so-called musicians were told, "Oh, I'm sorry, police protection for your concert is no longer available because our officers are not getting days off because we have no time to give them off"? How fast would the absolute morons saying that we need to get rid of police change their tune and demand that governments fund private security forces for their use only if they were told, "Well, we don't have enough money for the police to sit at your concert all night and make sure you're safe"? I can tell you, those people who are saying defund the police would be screaming from their own homes, afraid to leave, about the racism of giving them exactly what they wanted. If the rioters were told, "Fine, police won't do a thing," you would find people arming themselves, standing, as the video showed from Los Angeles, as the Korean-owned business had people on the roof, just as it did during the Watts riots. You would find them standing armed to defend their businesses and their homes. And when the first rioter is shot because they tried to harm someone, those people will demand the police arrest the person who defended themselves from the riot. It's hypocrisy, plain and simple. It always has been. notice that when the protesters who hate the police aren't able to block a car from driving on a public street, they scream and yell for the police to arrest the person that they were trying to illegally detain. Then, when those same people do manage to stop a truck with a horse trailer and they throw something into the trailer that ends up harming the horses, they say that that's their right. The country is burning. And that's as simple a statement as I can make. We're watching. Minneapolis has over, I want to say they said over 60% or 600. I forget the statistic. But there is a massive number of businesses closed. Some permanently destroyed because of this. You can bet that Jeff Bezos won't be crying a single tear over the fact that now you can't go downtown in Minneapolis-St. Paul and buy a new pair of shoes, or a wrench, or a blanket, or groceries. So you have to turn to Amazon to get what you need to stay clothed or fed. You can bet that Walmart won't cry a tear over the mom and pop grocery store or mom and pop hardware store that has been burned to the ground, because now you have to go to their mega store. Tucker said it the best tonight. The people calling to defund the police are not afraid of the mobs because they are controlling the mobs. You see, the Democrats, they're not scared of Antifa because Antifa firmly believe that if the Democrats manage to steal back power, that Antifa will be an officially sanctioned arm of the DNC. What Antifa doesn't know is the Democrats betray everyone that helps them. If they manage to steal back both houses of Congress and the White House, aside from states beginning to secede, you will see Antifa told, stand down. And when they don't, they'll be arrested en masse and jailed for many, many years. And if someone manages to interview them, you will hear them crying that they were betrayed. This is a very well funded, very well organized mob of domestic terrorists whose only purpose and only goal is to destroy the very country that gives them the freedom to protest. I spoke about this, I believe, on Wednesday, where there was a protest in Fort Worth, Texas. And it went right up to curfew. As the people were dispersing peacefully at curfew, the police chief said, "You just showed the nation how it's done." And he's spot on, because the people weren't violent. They weren't aggressive in any way. They were peaceful. They were making their voices heard, but that was it. And the police did nothing. I can guarantee you, if these rioters get anywhere near Garcetti's, Newsom's, Whitmer's, de Blasio's, Cuomo's homes, or even their offices, you will see police swarm out of the building, swinging the baton, spraying pepper spray everywhere, tasing anyone they can to keep the vaunted governor or mayor safe. Meanwhile, you and I are supposed to just pray that the violent thugs, and remember, Obama said that about the Baltimore rioters, the cowards in masks, who now use the pandemic to say they can't take off their mask. Well, they want you cowed, bowing to them, or dead. And I've said this many times, and I will maintain this until the day I die. I will live, fight, and die on my feet before I live on my knees. I bow only to the Creator God. I don't bow to any man. If I'm told to, I will fight. And I will happily go to the fiery furnace or the lion's den, because I will not be forced to give up my faith or my liberty. It was said best so many years ago. Those who sacrifice essential liberty for temporary security deserve neither, soon lose both. It's definitely something to think about. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, remain civil. We're not here to scream, yell, and insult. We're here to discuss, dissent, and debate. That's it. You can dissent and you can disagree vehemently with someone while remaining civil. Please do so. As always, also, please remember to like and share the video so that we can expand the conversation, and to subscribe and turn on notifications so you're aware of all content, and so you're part of the giveaway at 500, 1,000, and 1,500 subscribers. Until next time, have a wonderful day.